live, and look at this. So this was really exciting. Rusty, Hazel in studio today. We were talking, Hazel, and I told Rusty, I said, well, I'll come back, and I guess I'll talk about events, and then when Hazel gets here, we'll go. You were ready. It's like you just heard me. It was just, boom, there's Hazel, you know? How are we doing this morning? Is it warming up a bit?
Fantastic, yes. It's the Christmas season,
complain.
right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Alton Memorial has had a really just a great year, it seems like, and Godfrey, that brand new, beautiful building right next to First Mid-America, and really all the growth that you've had in the Alton campus, too. It's got to feel pretty good to be in Alton Memorial's care right now.
A lot of things happening. First of all, thanks for the opportunity to be here today.
Oh, no problem.
And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we opened the Godfrey Outpatient Center as part of BJC Healthcare probably 2 months ago. We have Mondays, 7 days a week. It's open 8 to 8 for convenient care. So if you have a sniffle or some type of fever or need to be seen, and it's something that's not acute and doesn't require a trip to the emergency room, you know, we would love for patients to be seen there because it's quick in and out, lower copay. We also in that building have primary care. So Dr. Dan Berg is there, and if folks are looking for a primary care physician, and he also has a couple of nurse practitioners, the phone number there is area code 618-619-3330.
Really cool. Well, before I go into the deep dive, I don't know if you know this, Rusty, but my sister actually just graduated from Quincy and has been an intern with BJC in the marketing team for the last couple of months. And she has said just the amount that she's learned working under the BJC umbrella and being part of that team for a little bit has just been amazing. And it seems like it's just not for in terms of marketing that BJC is really a stepping stone and really a base for so many young people to really start their career. And that's got to be, for me, one of the most exciting parts.
It really is. You know, growing up in the area, you know, and thinking about going into the medical field, many people just think of, well, doctors and nurses, but there are many, many different avenues, whether it's marketing or whether it's accounting or now supply chain with all of the different things that are needed across the system. So BJC is 13 hospitals across mainly in the St. Louis area, but we also have a couple others on the Metro East side. We also have Belleville Memorial and Shiloh that are part of BJC. Yeah.
See, that's something I'm learning for the first time today. I'm stuck in my Alton focal points, you know, put the blinders up and just know what's in your hometown sometimes. Well, Rusty, out of all the things that have happened this year, was the groundbreaking on Godfrey Road one of the big milestones for BJC Alton Memorial?
You know, it was, and it's really connecting the dots of healthcare. So a couple of, it's been 2 years ago, we did the same thing with a building that's probably 4 times its size over in the Edwardsville area. It's connected to Kohl's.
Wow.
So it's an old shop and save. So it's open now, and a lot of our providers rotate there as well, not only primary care, but also specialists. So Godfrey is another one of those outpatient areas that really raises the bar and makes accessibility for patients very easy because it's in the community. We were surprised how busy Godfrey Road is when we looked at traffic patterns.
You know, that's something nobody understands. I always tell people, forget Lindbergh, drive Godfrey Road one afternoon and you let me know about traffic. Well, and as you guys were getting ready, did you, and you broke ground, the ribbons cut, doors are open, did you realize just the impact you'd have on morale for both your patients and your providers with this?
You know, it having been down the street in a convenient care location it was challenging for patients to get in and out of because there wasn't a good intersection. And having the building size about 10 times what we had, I mean, it's like moving into a new house.
Right.
Yeah. And within that building, there's 5,000 square feet that's not built out yet. So we're trying to figure out what makes the most sense for the community and patients to have in that building.
If you don't mind me asking, what goes into that decision?
Well, we look at, you know, do we have a need for more specialists in that area? What do we have room for on the hospital campus? What makes more sense to be seen in the community? So think orthopedics, think endocrinology, think you know, those types of things. And we have those specialists at our other locations like Edwardsville.
Really cool. And Rusty, how long have you been with BJC Memorial?
Well, you're going to hit on some age. 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And to me, being somewhere for 16 years, you can see the real growth and development of so many projects. And has there been exponential growth in this area for the company?
There has, and I think it's working with our city leadership, our township. So Godfrey, for instance, working with Mayor McCormick and his team to talk about how do we partner together and what's coming and how to revitalize and bringing in different businesses and those types of things. So it's a partnership.
That's a really good point too, because speaking about working with municipalities, it seems like they've been pretty open to a lot of your ideas, a lot of your projects, and that's got to be great for your guys' growth.
Yeah, it is, and so when they have projects, so we just touched on this before we went live. Another project that we just hit on was a new entrance to the hospital off College Avenue.
This is cool.
So working with the city planners as far as College Avenue, what does that look like off of Rock Springs, and the city has put some nice new sidewalks in that particular area to make foot traffic easier for school children, those types of things. So.
Well, and it was neat. I'm excited to see that. And Hazel, you were saying that it's fantastic.
It is. The campus is just wonderful. The new entrance is wonderful. It allows people to get in and see exactly where they're going. With the Alton Memorial Rehab being facing College Avenue, it's just a good turn right there, and then you go on down to all the other opportunities that are there.
And now, how long have you been with Alton Memorial Rehab, Hazel?
I was there 22 years.
Wow.
And I retired. So now I'm back part-time just helping out.
Really cool. Well,
Yes.
every time I go to anything community related, whether it's Community Christmas, North Alton Godfrey, or just in general, Hazel's going to be there, and I love it. You're busier than I am.
Stay pretty busy, yes. Yes, I love it.
What makes Alton Memorial Rehab, in your opinion, so really important and imperative for folks getting their care? Because there's multiple avenues and ways individuals can go, but a lot of times they're sticking with Alton Memorial Rehab.
Right. Well, it's a wonderful rehab center. It's just I love the fact that it's small. It's 64 beds. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 wings. They have 16 private rooms. We have so many services to offer. We have, of course, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, respiratory therapy. We do a lot of wound care. We have a wound care doctor that's there every week. We have a physician's assistant, a nurse practitioner, a physician that's there. Just so many services that, and then if you can't go home, they can stay long-term as well. So out of the 64 beds, there's the 16 private rooms, so we can pretty much meet all the needs and the convenience of being on the campus of Alton Memorial with all the services they provide, where they're just a minute away.
That is a huge point, too. And
It is.
on two sides of that is, like you said, having those permanent beds, because the decision for the family at a time where, unfortunately, this isn't going to get any better, we got to go long-term here, that's a tough thing. But whenever they know there's an option right where you're already at currently, and
Right.
then you're on a medical campus, that makes it a pretty easy decision.
It's very excellent, yes.
And how's the team over there at Alton Memorial Rehab?
What can I say about the team? They are amazing. They are just amazing. If you walk through right now and saw all the decorations, the staff, they adopt each one of the residents for a Christmas gift. They have decorated all the doors. They just go above and beyond. Today, the team pulled together because a lot of people work a lot of hours, and they don't have a lot of time for Christmas. So today, in the coffee shop, some of the staff are volunteering to wrap the staff's gifts for Christmas if they have no one else to do it. So they just have a team in there. You bring your gifts, and they will wrap it. So the team is just phenomenal. They really are. They step up. They help out. They're amazing. I'm very proud of them.
That's incredible. That's really incredible. It seems
really
like a
is.
family atmosphere, really.
It's a very, very strong family atmosphere, yes.
Well, and hitting on what you just said, Hazel, working the hours in the industry, in the medical field,
Yes.
I firsthand, grandma, the ICU nurse, and mom and aunts and physical therapy and occupational therapy, all that stuff, it's tough. And to have the wrapping station for the employees, I think, is a step above and beyond, because that's a stress no one even thinks about, is just getting
That's
the little
right.
things done.
Exactly.
And, as we're getting ready to take our first pause here, I think something that's really cool about the Business Council is the fact that we have some great health institutions, just like BJC, a part of them, and you guys are at every meeting. And I think that's crucial because you're always there to learn and observe what's going on. And one of the first people to say hello or even just try to collaborate with and just learn from. And I think that's a huge thing to have from our medical institutions, is to have that presence at these meetings.
Yes,
There we
absolutely. The community,
Absolutely.
giving back.
Without a doubt. Hey, we're going to take our first pause. Is that okay? Can I pay a bill?
Yeah.
9:36, we're going to pay a bill on this 13th day of December. Thank goodness it's a Wednesday, huh? We'll take a break. Daily Show comes back and hits you next right after this in the heart of the 618.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Lennox system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Mungan Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Mungan Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Mungan Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
Welcome back to our Daily Show. Here's CJ.
Hear the snow crunch, see the kids bunch. This is Santa's big scene, and above all the bustle you'll hear silver bells, silver bells.
9:39. Welcome back. This Wednesday morning is continuing in the heart of the Riverbend with Rusty Hazel, Alton Memorial Hospital, Rehab, BJC, what else? Oh, and the North Alton Godfrey Business Council. And we were just talking during the break, Rusty, and I think it's such a huge thing to hit on is it's an organic way to network, number one, at the council. You've been on it for 16 years now, which I think is fantastic. But also, you hit on a great point of there's so many people a part of this that are on boards or other entities outside of it that really help growth in an individual company throughout the year.
Right. You're exactly right. And that's one of the linkages that I noticed right away when I was joining boards was the North Alton Godfrey Business Council. A lot of different activities for the community, but then United Way board, Riverbend Head Start, or the Alton Boys and Girls Club. You see a number of these members doing, reaching out across a number of different areas, and it's fantastic. I think it speaks to our community.
It does, 100% over, and that's what, you couldn't have said it better. And also on top of that, you get to learn before a lot of people, and sometimes even before or at the same time the news organizations do, about what's happening in terms of projects in terms of volunteerism, and I know that folks from BJC and yourself have been a part of the Watering Flowers Committee and just helping keep that beautification aspect of the council alive.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think from the council, and you think of the Freer Auto Body and Christmas in July, how that has just grown over time, but a lot of the council members are involved with that, and many different areas with the flower watering uptown, just beautification for our surrounding communities.
Absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of beautification projects in general, I'm always assuming there's a project coming down the pipeline or 40 from BJC, because you guys are always evolving and innovating, and that's how you stay at the top of your game in the industry. And is there anything coming down the pipeline?
Well, there is. We're in the process right now. We have 2 MRIs on our campus, and we're changing both of those out, and that's probably our biggest project that's going on right now. Down the road, we're planning to expand our OR capacity. So I think outpatient surgery growth has really hit a boom over the last couple of years.
Can I ask you about that a little bit more? When did you notice the change in it? Because all of a sudden, my dad had his first hip surgery a couple of years ago, and he's 53, and the sports kind of took over, and he was a college athlete and all the wear and tear. Well, I was thinking, oh no, this is going to be terrible. He's going to be out, in a facility getting rehab work done, and all of a sudden, it's 4 o'clock, and there's my dad in a little bit of a limp. I mean, to me, that's incredible.
Amazing.
Just incredible.
It really is. My father-in-law was the same way. So we're fortunate it's part of my role is physician recruitment, and Dr. John Sturton does that particular hip replacement surgery, and it's the anterior approach. I was fortunate enough to dress out and watch one of those in the OR.
Oh, wow.
So he doesn't cut through muscle, which increases the healing time. But really, patients, as long as they get enough therapy and are capable of managing on their own, some patients go home same day.
That's what he did. It was insane. I thought, go back into that hospital bed now.
And when Dr. Sturton came, I said, we need to come up with a bumper sticker that if your hips are hurting, we call Dr. Sturton.
Oh, I love it.
So,
come on. I mean, seriously. I love that. That's a band name. I mean, that's a song. That was poetic. With that being said, going back to just some of the really cool things, let's talk MRIs, because this is, I'm sure, going to be a big advancement to what you currently have. What are we going to see in terms of changes with these machines?
Well, for patients, it probably won't experience much change.
Okay.
But for radiology and for our specialists, think of the old TV versus high definition.
Okay.
And the ability to see a fracture or a stroke or any type of ailment that an MRI would pick up.
Wow.
That type of imaging, and so we're excited to bring that technology here. We'll have 2 of them. One of them will be an open, which some patients, when I say open, it's a larger open area that some patients are claustrophobic.
That's what I was going to ask.
It helps with that. Or, society is getting bigger these days too,
Yep.
so it helps with the contour of everybody's body is different and that type of thing.
Well, and for accessibility too, I mean, to me, I think something that BJC it does very well is patient satisfaction and patient morale and making sure they're comfortable. And whenever you can upgrade that and make sure that you aren't, making anyone feel way too tight in there, or and still getting great results.
Right.
That's a huge positive.
It is. And I think another linkage is a new provider that we just brought on, and it's pain management. So Dr. Andy Hayden just started about a month ago. And so all pain management, anything that's acute, long-term pain, patients are starting to make their way to his office on campus.
Another thing that I wanted to point out with BJC and just in general is your sports medicine group at Alton Memorial. I think that you guys have one of the best in Dr. Armatola. I think he's fantastic. And has that department really grown? I mean, it seems like everyone's utilizing sports medicine group for their service, for their need.
It really is. And, it's under his vision when he arrived, I'll say 12 years ago, how to grow a sports medicine department. And since then, his office and BJC are now the sports medicine providers for SIU Edwardsville.
Really cool.
And then we have relationships with Lewis and Clark Community College, Principia College, as well as our foundation at the hospital funds 9 area high school athletic trainers. So we give the schools a grant, and then it helps offset the cost for those.
I didn't realize that at all. That's actually really cool.
So most of the high schools in the Riverbend area receive some type of grant from the foundation.
That's fantastic.
It is.
Well, and what I think's cool too, Rusty, and Hazel, I'm sure you agree on this, is the fact that you're observing and a part of a lot of these nuances, like you were talking about being dressed up in the operating room to watch how this surgery's taking place. I think that's crucial for somebody, especially in your role, to really get a firsthand look and be able to relay that information to prospective partners, to current ones, and just to the community at large.
Absolutely.
Well, it is, yeah, and it's so when I started with the hospital, I came in as marketing. So that visibility helped me be able to market the particular service or the particular procedure. And then moving into physician recruitment and business development, I've enjoyed that over 16 years. It just helps tell the story of what we're doing. And they like to show off too. It's not every day that they get a visitor down in the OR to watch something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And on top of it, going back to the council, the Alton Memorial is one of the hosts of the Business Council in, was it October or November?
I think it was October.
There, look at that. I was almost right. I should have stopped at October. I always throw dates out to see whatever I can get somebody to hook into. So October, and this was with the residential program, correct?
It is. So we're in year 3 of a family. So it's a partnership with SIU School of Medicine out of Springfield. And so we have a family medicine residency program where we have 18 residents. They're here for 3 years training to become family medicine doctors. Wow. So this July we'll have our first graduation, and we're hopeful to be able to retain some of those family medicine physicians in our market. And many of them, well, they've all spent 3 years here, so their spouse, their kids. Some have gotten married over that span. A couple have had children, their firstborns here. So it's really a fantastic partnership, and I only see it paying dividends down the road.
That's just incredible. I didn't realize that was already going on, and just to have that first ceremony is going to be really special. I'm sure.
It is. We do have confirmation that we've signed at least one, and we're hopeful for a couple others.
So I just want to go back, because I'm looking down at my phone kind of lighting up here because now I have the text line here, and then if I wanted to, I could pull it up on the computer, but I like my phone because it makes me feel like a kid again, but one of them is the College Avenue entrance. I think that's something that folks are really interested in. So can we kind of talk about that really quick one more time?
Sure.
So College Avenue, take us through the reconstruction of that, because it was that old brick archway, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
And now what's it look like now?
So if you recall, there were a couple of concrete balls that were out there. It was very narrow. Trucks would try and enter that way and never fail hit one of the concrete pillars, I think even one might have broken off and rolled down college at some point over the past couple of years. So and it was necessary, repaving, landscaping. It just makes it a more inviting, wide turns, traffic's easier to get in and out of these days. So, and this is only phase 1, I'll add. So phase 2 will be done in the spring when things dry out and we get into spring.
So what's it look like in terms for both of you as, the holiday season's coming, and we know that you're medical providers, and with that job comes the responsibility of being there for the patient round the clock. For you two, what's it look like for time away? Because I'm sure both of you are still very busy. Hazel, you're everywhere and then some, and with Alton Memorial Rehab. And then Rusty, your job is one of the directors of business development, and where you're at now. What does your time off look like? It's not very much for you guys, is it?
Well, we certainly get, BJC, one of the things they pride themselves on, as does Bethesda, is work-life balance.
Really? Great to hear.
So, you're not there around the clock. I think that's why we're open 24/7. You have enough staff that but for those that have to work on the holidays, we try and recognize, take care of the staff, receive free meals on
both sides.
Yeah.
Wow.
On shifts that, if you're working the holidays, those types of things. So
that's really cool, because not a lot of companies do that really for their employees when they're working those holiday shifts. Some might, but you don't hear of it really becoming a standard practice all the time. That's great.
It is. It's fantastic.
I just love it. It's 9:50 on this 13th day of December. A couple more minutes talking with Rusty, Hazel, and our North Alton Godfrey Business Council Spotlight. So take me through how Bethesda, Alton Memorial Rehab, ties into Alton Memorial Hospital. What's the correlation there? Does Alton Memorial BJC own Bethesda, or is that a contract? How does that work?
It's a contract.
Okay.
Yes, they are contracted to manage the long-term care facilities, and they do a wonderful job. They're a wonderful team. We have an extra layer of support that is very knowledgeable in what we do. So anytime we have a question, they are right there. They really support us. They're team players. Anything, they are right there for us.
Hazel, how has as a whole, how has the rehab and just Bethesda side of things evolved over the years in terms of physical therapy, in terms of, outpatient? How does that change? Because I'm sure it's just changed leaps and bounds 20 years ago.
Yes, when I've seen the growth.
Yeah.
Where we would have maybe the therapy department open a couple days a week, and now it's 7 days a week.
Wow.
7 days a week, they can have whatever their needs are, with all 3 therapy services. And then, like I said, they have respiratory therapy that comes in several times a week. So they have, whereas they had a small little room, they have now 2 of the largest rooms there because we do a lot of rehab.
Wow.
We do a lot of rehab.
What's your favorite part about what you do day in and day out with Bethesda Alton Memorial Rehab?
Oh, golly, I love Alton Memorial Rehab. I love it. It's the greatest little campus right there, hidden, on BJC's Alton Memorial campus. I love it. I love the home, the feelings that everybody has when they come there. Is it perfect? Probably not, but I feel like it is. And anything that isn't there, any little issue, they're very quick to fix it. Any other facility, food. They have wonderful, wonderful food. They have snacks 24/7. I have never seen a facility to offer as much, and that came directly from Alton Memorial. They supply us. We get, they can have sodas and ice creams and chips and cookies and anything that they want 24/7. Healthy drinks if they need Ensures, and it's all included.
Well, and that's huge because
food is a big deal.
It is, and 100% over. Whenever, and this, not the same, but the same in a way. When my grandpa was on hospice those last 9 months, the one thing he wanted was a damn milkshake every day. That or go to Ranch House on Tuesdays and Thursdays with my mom and dad or whatever. But the morale aspect of it, to have those amenities, and they are amenities, especially in that stage of the game, is just crucial. And now for the pediatric side, is the pediatric portion still on the campus with Dr. Wollner?
It is.
She was my doctor, and I think
talked to her this morning.
One of the best pediatric systems that are around in the area. I highly agree.
The best.
Yeah.
100%. Is that still going very strong as well?
It is. It is.
Really cool.
So they're in Building B and sit right across from our OBGYN practice. So you can see the synergies there when patients are born, and they also, Dr. Wollner and her group also round on our nursery. So we deliver about 850 babies a year at the
Really?
hospital.
Now, this is a great segue, and this is just a spur of the moment one. Well, actually, I was talking to Dr. Wollner because we were discussing the possibilities of maybe doing a teens health segment or for mental health and things, but let's see, how do I phrase this? Okay, with the new year approaching, there's always the first baby of the year born. And this is, to me, it almost seems like a competition as who's getting the first, baby of 2023. Is that a thing in the nursery and the delivery sector?
It is. It is. So, and the media checks on which baby was the firstborn.
Yep.
Now, we have taken it a step further, and I'll give credit to our manager, Jessica Mossman, for this, but we have a wagon, a radio flyer wagon, that all the departments pile in gifts because we're going to have the first at the hospital per se. So that those parents will take home, just this wagon is just overflowing with presents and diapers and gift cards and things you're going to need when you go home.
That's awesome.
So it's very cool.
Very, very nice.
Well, that's just amazing. And I'm learning more and more about BJC Alton Memorial as a whole today, and I love every bit of it. And what I think's great, too, is the way that the campus at Alton Memorial is laid out, the entire the structure of it, because you're never walking in a zigzag to get your task done for the day. It's always very linear. It's always very uniform. There's synergies, like you said, with OBGYN and going into peds and throughout it. And is that something that BJC Alton Memorial strives to do?
We do, and we figured that out over time. I think as you I think we've talked about a new house, as you learn, where do you want your laundry? Where do you want your closets? Where do you want your, those types of things? But what makes the most sense for patients,
That's
and
really cool.
with these things, now
what
making
is
life
that?
easier, a cell phone, social media, there's so much of that's flowing to this that makes life easier, more convenient.
100% over. And before I let you go, I got a great story about the cell phone. So I was in high school, and this was right when the Apple Watch came out, because now I feel like I'm old. That was like 8 years ago, and now I'm obsolete to young people and whatever. But they had the Apple Watch, and I thought, do any of these teachers know these kids are cheating on their tests? No one knew, but we had the best final score of your life. I didn't have an Apple Watch at the time, so I'm exempt for the first time in my high school career.
Statute of limitations is almost out.
Almost. That's why I won't say yes until 2024. But with that being said, Rusty Hazel, this was fun. And to really learn about Alton Memorial BJC and also Bethesda Alton Memorial Rehab a little bit, I think is fantastic. On the employment side of things, are there some employment opportunities?
Well, there's always employment opportunities.
Always?
Yeah. And I think if you go to the website, bjc.org, you can pick, location, and all of the openings pop up. But that touches on that we're fortunate, at least on the nursing side, to have higher ed institutions like Lewis and Clark and SIU Edwardsville and McKendree and SWIC here in our own backyard. So those kids are doing rotations at the hospital, and it's an opportunity to move right into employment.
Absolutely.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I know the guy that teaches microbiology out at Lewis and Clark. He's watching. I can't say anything. All right. With that being said, one final question. It's a softball. What is your go-to Riverbend region Christmas spot? Whether it's for lights or any type of tradition or activity, if you had to pick one, where would it be?
Oh, Rock Springs.
Would it? Okay.
Yeah, we've helped the Grandpa Gang for, as part of those opportunities in the past, and it's just a
Rock
fabulous
Springs or
spot.
Blazebrook.
There you go. 100%.
Good call out.
With that being said, this has been fun. Rusty Hazel, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We are coming up on top of the hour news. We'll take a quick pause here. We'll come back, see what's happening around the River Bend. Then another pause. The Repertory Theater is in a big need for support to continue their 23-24 season. $2.2 million they need to raise. John Goodman will be in this Sunday for an evening benefit concert with the Levettes and Ozzie Smith. We're going to get the details, all of that and more, right around 10:10. But right now, let's take a break and do top of the hour news right after this.